On today's episode, I'm going to do another video on the Garmin inReach Mini. I'm going to go over the EarthMate app on my phone. I'm going to do a screen record. And then I'm also going to send some test texts out so you can see what it actually looks like. I'm going to request a weather update. I'm going to go over some pros and cons. And I'm also going to go over the SOS app, tracking, what it sounds like when this receives and sends a text message. And I'm also going to go over, again, some of the pros and cons between the app, the phone interface for an iPhone, and then how other things work all together. So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the EarthMate app. And what we'll do here is I'll go through the different options that we have. This first thing you see is the map. On these maps, you have different layers. On the different layers, you have at the top Topo North America, because that's where I've chosen to have it. OpenStreetMap, USGS quad sheets, color aerial imagery, Digital Atlas, and EarthMap, and the NOAA offshore charts. And for this one, just to make things a little more simple, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to I'm going to do OpenStreet and Topo, so I'll turn the rest of these off. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to press this button to see where I am in the top right hand corner. And now it's located me, and I want to make a point that I'm doing this all inside the vehicle. The Garmin is here just so it's a better video shot of it, but normally I would just stick it off in the corner. And if I was going to do a long road trip, I would hardwire it. And I've got some long USB cables that I use. So now on this map, you can see it's showing zoomed in, and you can see where we are. On the top left-hand corner, it's got your orientation north, south, east, west. And you can pinch and zoom, which is what I'm doing here. And then you can also use your plus and minus button here to zoom in, zoom out. And then you can also set waypoints. So on here, you can set up a waypoint and title it whatever you want. And you've also got your coordinates, your distance, bearing, and the time it was created. What I can do though is I can hit delete because I don't want to make a waypoint right here. Now if you notice on the screen while moving the phone, you can see the heading change. It also has your elevation and it also has your speed. Now the next tab that I'm going to go to is messages. Now just to do a fresh batch here, we can go through and delete all these, and I'm going to hit the new message icon in the top right hand corner. Then I'm going to tap up here in the top, and then just for Nikki, I'm going to send a message, and then in a minute you'll hear a chirp. And on the screen here there's an outbound arrow, and that chirp was the device, the inReach Mini, telling me that it was successfully sent outbound. Now what I can do is I'll just sit here and wait for a minute, and I'm going to wait for her to send a message back. And when she sends a message back, again the device chirps. It doesn't chirp on the phone, and if you have an Apple Watch, it does not chirp on the Apple Watch. And if the phone is asleep, or the screen's blacked out, you will not get a banner. And since you're not okay, so that chirping, that's going to keep chirping like that until I acknowledge that I got the message. So I can say just doing a video review. Thanks for so fast. Okay, and as you see, when this message is sending, there's this little wheel on the left hand of the actual message box you sent. And same thing, you'll hear the chirp on the device go, and then when that chirp happens, you also get a little crosshairs location icon that's on the left of the screen. Is I can tap that, and that'll actually show what the person, your recipient, can see. And you can see who was sent to, name and phone number, which I'm going to black out. And You've got the date and time you sent it. You have your speed. So if you're walking, boating, driving, that kind of thing. Your course and your elevation. It's also got a screen grab of where you sent that message. And you can see the little blue box that's in that screen right there. And then you can send some short messages. So you send quick texts, and you can send these by pressing the arrow button. You can send the, you can hit that button there on the top left of the dialog box, which is going to be right here. And that is going to let you disable or enable your location, sending it to someone. And then when I clicked on the arrow box in the top right-hand corner, then I can take it and I can actually delete the entire thread. So I can go through, but I want to hit cancel because I want to do it there. And then on the next page, you can go to tracking. And what I have pulled up now that you can see on the screen, this is what I did at Cedar Hills State Park a couple days ago. And this is the entire walk that I went, the entire path that I took. And then you can click on last track details. It'll give you your distance, how fast you were going, how long it took you. So I did 7.29 miles in 3 hours and 4 minutes. And then while you're in here, if you want to start a new track, you can hit the top right-hand button. You can hit share. That can go out to whoever you want to share it to. Or you can hit clear. So I can hit clear now. And it'll make sure you want to clear it. You hit clear. And now it's fresh and it's available for you to do a nice clean recording of a new track. And then you have your compass, and as you see on the screen right now, it's turning, it's acting with your compass. It gives you your heading, again your elevation and speed. And then same thing on here, it will allow you to put a waypoint from that compass screen. Now we go into more. And on more, you have your list of waypoints. You have your routes, same thing, you can make routes, and you can do this on the explore.garmin site. So now that message I sent out a minute ago, Nikki's responded back. So I'll go into message, you can see the one show up. And she's saying hello, the chirping stopped. And again, that chirping is adjustable. You can have it chirp just once or twice, ring when you get a message, or you can have it ring until it's answered, until you see it on the phone or on the device. The reason I have it ring until I answer it is because if I am walking or doing something and I'm not right next to it, or I leave it in the car by my pack, because I am not getting alerts on the phone and I'm not getting alerts on my watch like a normal text message or like a GoTenna message, I want it to ring so that if I miss it, I know that I'm going to get the message. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go over, we have our routes, then you have history, how many points you took, all that kind of stuff. And this is, again, just to clarify the history, the points, that's how many points it's logged. And if you remember from the other video, what I have it set up for here is it's logging every 2 minutes, and then every 10 minutes it's sending out a burst of those 5 points. Alright, then on weather, and this is one of the big reasons I picked this, is you have a basic and premium weather option. For me, I'm going to choose premium, and in the top right hand corner there's a little refresh circle. So I'm going to press that button, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? Charges will apply. And I believe it's $1 per premium forecast. Now what it's doing is it is going to prepare a text message, and you can see on the upper left hand corner the spinny little thing. That's going to send out a text message, and then you'll hear on your device that a text message was sent out, and just like that, so a text message just went out, and the EarthMate, your inReach Mini, has now requested weather from Garmin, and then it'll usually take a couple of minutes, and then it'll chirp and get our weather back. So right now, we're going to leave this screen, and then we'll go back. And again, this is basing it on your location. So when you requested weather, it's getting you a detailed forecast for where you are. So it's not just pulling up the last place you were. Okay, so now it's saying that we have a new message. I'll go into weather. It'll give you when it was. You can see on the upper left-hand corner just now. And then how far away it was from where you are, 0.72 feet. And then, I know you can't really see it here, but on the device it shows the weather. And on here it has the sunshine, 104 degrees, and which is nice and hot. That's why I'm in the car. The sun decided to visit Texas. And then on this screen you can see the forecast. So today it's supposed to be 109. The chance of rain is 10%. Right now the humidity is 25%. It's 104 right now. It gives you wind speed, precipitation, pressure. And if you notice, this is going to go through the next several days. And then you also have your percentage of rain, cloudiness, sunshine, all that kind of stuff. The next thing we have is SOS. Now, similar to this device on the side, there's a little safety kind of embedded. So on the device, you have the cover, like I had in the unboxing video, and then you have your button on the inside with a countdown that follows you pressing that button. Now what you have is, on this screen, as you can see, there's a slide to SOS. And this will do the same thing. This will give you a countdown. And on a future video, I'm going to set up a test with Geos, and we're going to do a full walkthrough. I'm going to do the activation here. I'm going to attempt to do 2 of them, 2 tests. So we'll do an activation here, activation on the device, and we'll see how that goes. Your next option is you have your actual inReach thing. So you have what firmware you're running, which device it is, Garmin inReach Mini, because remember they have the larger ones. You have your battery level. You can check for new messages. This is set to check, I believe, every 10 minutes for a new message. And then on the next one, you have your kind of system settings kind of stuff. Then you have your map that has the how you want to work it, so your scale can be distance, zoom, or ratio. Then you have your messages. So I apologize, it's every 5 minutes. What that means is it's not listening continuously like your cell phone does for towers. What it's doing is every 5 minutes, it's going out and calling the satellites and saying, hey, do I have new messages? Which is going back to the servers, and then the servers, satellites back to the device. And here you can also check your include location. So on the message screen, on the other screen that I was showing over here, what you can see is I can turn on and off location, but I can also turn it off globally. So basically through every message you're going to do instead of message dependent. This is also where you can turn off ring until red. So it's just a slide, you can turn it on and off, it's really easy. The next thing is units. And based on where you are in the world or what you're doing, here you can choose what you're doing. You have your coordinates, so it can get very detailed. It's Garmin, of course. So you can do degrees, minutes. You can do UTM, USNG, and U.S. National Grid is really good if you're going to do a lot of map stuff. And then bearing, temperature, Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. And then you have your pressure, which can be millibars, pascals, or mercury, inches of mercury. And that's basically it on the app.